no Jalen Brunson. OG Anunoby goes down with a hamstring injury early in the game. New York is missing two of their key players. And it still doesn't matter. The Knicks still find a way to drop 140 points on the Miami Heat. Karl-Anthony Towns was a monster in the first half. And then in the second half, the bench took over. Specifically, Landry Shamet, who dropped the career high on the Miami Heat. We're going to break down all of these latest reports today. This episode is presented by FanDuel. We have a goal of trying to reach 40,000 subscribers, and we could really use your support. If you enjoy daily Knicks content, please hit that subscribe button. And now, let's get started. The Knicks bench goes off. The Knicks clearly remembered that loss to the Miami Heat earlier on in the season. They would not lose this game, and it might have taken a career night by Landry Shamet to get the job done, but at the end of the game, New York was able to take the victory. As you can see here, a very high-scoring game. The New York Knicks beat the Miami Heat 140 to 132. This is without Jalen Brunson and OG Anunoby. Unbelievable offense. And shout out to channel sponsor FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, for giving us these updated odds on who is supposed to win the game last night between the Knicks and the Heat. And even though New York was missing Jalen Brunson, FanDuel still gave the edge to New York at -230, as you can see with the money line. And they called it perfectly correct. Somehow, some way, the Knicks were able to take this game and pull out the victory. The craziest thing about this game was it was also a tale of two halves in the most insane way possible. Here's the easiest way to explain it. Summary of the game. First half, Karl-Anthony Towns went off. He was a monster. It was the cat attack. In the second half, it was Landry Shamet, Jordan Clarkson, and the Knicks bench going off. We're going to get to Cat and Landry in a second. Don't you worry. But Jordan Clarkson off the bench, 24 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. Mikal Bridges, 15 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 7 steals. No, you didn't see me read that wrong. 7 steals on the night. He was a monster defensively. He also had 2 blocks. Josh Hart, off the bench, triple-double, 12 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists, and 1 steal. He was phenomenal. But I know you guys are waiting for it, and I did say we were going to get to them in a little bit. Right now, it's that very time. Karl-Anthony Towns and Landry Shamet, they went off. Karl-Anthony Towns in the NBA Cup showdown with the Miami Heat, where New York won this game 140 to 132. He dropped 39 points so efficiently, 13 of 26 from the field, 6 of 14 from 3. He was hitting back-to-back threes all night long. He also grabbed 11 rebounds. So phenomenal. With the captain, Jalen Brunson, out, we needed Karl-Anthony Towns to step up. We needed him to have a very big game. And what did he do? He answered that call by dropping 31 of his 39 points in the first half. And when I tell you, he did it any way he wanted, he did it any way he wanted. He drove to the rim, got contact, went to the free throw line, drove to the rim, and was able to put it up against so many other Miami Heat defenders. And even better than that, he was hitting 3 after 3 after 3. And the best thing with Karl-Anthony Towns, when he's hitting threes like that, he becomes unstoppable, because those fakes, when he fakes the 3 and then he looks to drive, those fakes, now they work, because the defense, they think he's going to shoot it. Not only that, they think he's going to shoot it and make the shot. Now they have to jump. Karl-Anthony Towns, he knows that. He uses this information to his advantage. And each and every time he gets the defense up, he drives inside, and he makes something happen. He did it in the first quarter, but he went off in that second quarter. He was a big reason why New York dropped 46 points in that second quarter. That's right, another 40-plus quarter for the Knicks during this season. They're doing it, it looks like, each and every game, and you never know where the offense is going to come from. Last night in that first half, it came from Karl-Anthony Towns, and he was a big reason why New York was up at halftime. But remember when I said he didn't do it alone? When I tell you, nobody could have predicted that Landry Shamet was going to go off and drop a new career high against the Miami Heat. But you know what? That's exactly what happened. He dropped 36 points. Just to put this in perspective, Karl-Anthony Towns, the all-star on the team, dropped 39 points. And the bench player, who's on a minimum contract, drops 36 points, a new career high, on 12 of 19 shooting 50% from three, 6 of 12 from three. That is outrageous. And Landry, he did a little bit in that first half, but he really went off in that third quarter and in that fourth quarter. And he was doing it in any way that he wanted. He was hitting threes. He was moving the ball, getting other players involved. But even better than that, he was making sure he was driving to the rim. He went coast to coast a number of times, but then he was driving inside and taking contact, driving inside on the Miami Heat, and he was not getting stopped. The Miami Heat, they would allow him to do whatever he wanted to do inside the paint. That version of Landry Shamet was phenomenal. If he can play like that for the rest of this season with the Knicks, I don't know what it's going to mean for New York with that bench unit. If Landry Shamet can continue to do that, and you never know, maybe a game like last night, it unlocks him, and now moving forward, he's playing the best basketball of his entire career. We've seen that from Mikal Bridges. Who's to say we won't see that out of Landry Shamet? And if that happens, he's going to throw his name in there for potentially winning Sixth Man of the Year, because the numbers he put up last night, they were outrageous. They looked like video game numbers. He was moving the ball. He was getting rebounds. He was driving inside so many times aggressively. And then he would shoot the three ball. Whether he was contested, open, it didn't matter. He was hitting that shot each and every single time. And you love to see it. We knew we needed somebody else to step up in Jalen Brunson's absence. We knew Karl-Anthony Towns, he needed to do that. I thought it might have been OG Anunoby, but then he went down with injury. I thought it might be Mikal Bridges, but then he had a quiet night on offense, even though he was a monster defensively. So who else was going to step up? We needed more people. The Knicks bench, they heard the call and they stepped up, led by Landry Shamet, who again dropped a new career high on the Miami Heat. 36 points. You gotta love that. But I did mention New York's bench had a lot to do with it. And Landry Shamet wasn't the only player off the bench. Let's take a look at the guys. Jordan Clarkson off the bench. 24 points. 6 of 13 from the field. 3 of 6 from 3. And Josh Hart, I mean, what else can you say? Triple-double off the bench. 12 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists in 34 minutes. This was a huge game for Josh Hart, and you know what? He needed a game like this. The last few fourth quarters, he has been benched. He has not been playing. But this time around, without Jalen Brunson, we needed somebody else to guide the offense, to lead the offense. And New York, they were able to do that by sharing the point guard responsibilities between Deuce McBride and Josh Hart. And Josh Hart stepped up in his minutes. That's why he was in the game so late, and that's why he played 34 minutes, because he was impactful all over the court. It didn't happen really in that first half, but I felt in that second half, he stepped up defensively, he stepped up his game, and he was doing a little bit of everything for New York. You gotta love some of the play that you saw last night from Josh Hart. And in my opinion, we saw vintage Josh Hart last night come back to the Knicks. Coast to coast, one-man fast break, getting around other defenders. Josh Hart, he was doing that last night. And finally, he is starting to look like that old Josh Hart that we all know and love. Now, normally I don't do this, but I have to do it because it points to a problem, but it also tells you the Knicks in this game, it was a very close game due to this specific player, Norman Powell, who had 38 points, 12 of 22 from the field, 6 of 7 from the free throw line. The thing about Norman Powell, he was open on a lot of his threes, but some of his threes, New York defended very well. And you know what? It didn't matter. He was still able to splash it in their faces and get the bucket to go down. I'm not a fan of the Miami Heat. If anything, if you guys know me, I despise Miami. However, Norman Powell, he deserves to be an all-star this season because he is playing like an all-star. New York tried to do everything against this man, and it wasn't enough. We could not stop him. Now it's time to take a look at the team stats, and like we always do, we're not going to break down every team stat, but I'm going to break down the team stats that I feel were the main reason why the Knicks won this game. Number one, they made their three-pointers. Now I understand, in terms of three-pointers, they put up 53 three-pointers, while the Miami Heat, they only put up 44 three-pointers. The Heat made 19 of them for 43%, while the Knicks made 21 of them for 40%. But them making those threes, especially in the second half, especially based off of ball movement and finding the open man, that was one of the main reasons why they were able to keep the lead and win this game. Another reason was they were able to dominate on the offensive boards. Mitchell Robinson, even though he was in foul trouble for most of this game, he was still able to be a monster on the offensive boards. The Knicks were able to win that 20-15. And it's so ironic. One of the main reasons that the Knicks won this game is one of the main reasons they lost the game against the Magic. It was the team assist. Against the Magic, they did not move the ball enough. But against the Miami Heat, they had 32 team assists to the Heat's 29 team assists. I don't know how many times I have to mention this, but I'll say it again. When the Knicks move the ball over 30 times a game and they have team assist numbers that are 30 plus a game, they are likely winning that game each and every time. Add on to that they're rebounding well. Add on to that they're shooting the three ball well. New York is always going to give themselves the best opportunity to win the game if they're doing all of those things correctly. However, they still need to work on their defense, specifically their three-point defense. The Knicks are still one of the worst teams in the league at guarding the three. And last night against the Miami Heat, you saw that. So many wide open threes for Miami. The Knicks, they should be cutting off those opportunities, shutting it down, but they're not doing it consistently enough. And that's the main thing, the main takeaway. Their offense, when it's consistent, they can drop 140, maybe 150 points each and every night. But their defense, if it's consistent, they can hold teams under 100 each and every night. That's how good their defense is and could be if they played it consistently for 48 minutes. It's likely that Bam and Tyler, they're going to play. So the Knicks, it's not going to be as easy on Monday against the Heat. But I still believe in this Knicks team. It doesn't matter who the Heat have. It matters how the Knicks are playing. Move the ball, play good defense, and do what you have to do to get easy buckets for the team. If the Knicks are doing that and playing in this way, they're going to give themselves the best chance to win this game on Monday. I don't know about you guys, but I was very hyped to watch this game. Although there wasn't a lot of defense being played, it was an offensive masterclass. The game kept going back and forth. It was fast-paced. The Knicks were scoring. The Heat were scoring. It was a very close game each and every single quarter, really until the fourth quarter, where the Knicks were playing even better basketball. Landry Shamet was going off, playing out of his mind, and the Knicks were able to extend their lead to a 14 to 15-point game. The Knicks did what they had to do, and I believe on Monday they're going to do the exact same thing again. Even without two of our key players, the Knicks still found a way to win. And this Monday, they're going to do the exact same thing. But what about you guys? What do you think about the Knicks dropping 140 points on the Miami Heat and beating them 140 to 132? Let me know how you feel about that in the comment section below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knicks fans, take care of yourself, your families, and each other. Peace and love.